Are the feds about to give Iran a $50 billion signing bonus for a nuclear deal? $50 billion? And what for exactly? The State Department is now responding. We'll bring you that. Plus, restart, new facts, everything just changed. Yesterday we were reporting on the Saudi Arabian-led bombing campaign in Yemen, the one that the United States was supporting, the one to push back the Houthis who had taken over Yemen, whom Iran supported, remember? So the Saudi bombing, that's done. Just ended just a little while ago. It was a major announcement, came moments ago from the Saudi officials themselves. Why? Well, they say they have achieved their military goals in the battle against Iran-backed fighters in Yemen, the Houthis. They've achieved their goals, yet the Saudis say that their mission has entered a new phase and is not over. So they've achieved the goals, but it's not over. More on this in a moment. Meantime, an official with close ties to the White House says it is not even close to making a decision about whether Navy teams should board a convoy of Iranian ships in the waters off Yemen. Remember, the Pentagon announced it sent an aircraft carrier with 6,000 people on board and jets, now close to 9,000 people, as many as 10 ships total from the United States there. But what are they doing there? Well, they're not boarding anything. They are just there. They're there to say, Iran, think about this before you arm these Houthis again, because, hello, we're here. Defense officials say it's all part of a mission to stop that convoy from delivering any weapons to rebel fighters in Yemen, if in fact it's doing that. The fighters, the Houthis, whom Iran supports, have the country's pro-American government on the run and have for quite some time. The Navy's mission seemed to mark a major escalation in the proxy war between Iran and Saudi Arabia, with the United States supporting the Saudis. Now, this is kind of what appears to be a sort of pause in this proxy war. Like maybe the proxy war was getting too big, so we sent over the big gun. We sent over the aircraft carrier. Of course, the Pentagon says, we're just repositioning. This is a very routine thing. Very routine. Fox News has learned the United States now has a total of 9 warships right there trailing the Iranian convoy. For more on the routine repositioning, we turn to Jennifer Griffin, who's live at the Pentagon. It's a little silly sometimes, the way they have to put things to us, but I kind of get it.
That's right, Shep. Well, as you mentioned, state-run television in Saudi Arabia announced within the last hour that it is halting those airstrikes over Yemen. It is not clear if this was in response to a call for a ceasefire by the Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, or because of those new nuclear talks in Geneva that restarted today. In terms of the U.S. aircraft carrier trailing that suspected Iranian weapons convoy, Fox News has learned from a senior U.S. defense official that the White House is, quote, not even close to making a decision about boarding and conducting a search of the Iranian vessels.
I think there was a lot of misreporting. I saw a lot of cable tickers today, ships going there to intercept Iranian ships. That is blatantly untrue. So this discrete movement of U.S. assets is for a discrete purpose.
But there is nothing discreet about an aircraft carrier, Shep. The atmosphere at sea remains tense off the coast of Yemen in this high-stakes game of brinksmanship. The aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt has entered the Gulf of Aden and is now shadowing that Iranian convoy and launching aircraft, we're told, including FA-18 Hornets, to fly manned reconnaissance of the 9 ships in the Iranian convoy suspected of carrying weapons to Houthi rebels in Yemen. They are being escorted by Iranian warships. There are now a total of 9 U.S. Navy warships, as you mentioned, and 3 support ships operating in the area stretching from the southern Red Sea to the Arabian Sea. The U.S. warships are entering are enforcing a UN arms embargo against Yemen, passed by 14 nations, excluding Russia last week. The Iranians deny, of course, that convoy is carrying weapons, but the U.S. has intercepted weapons en route to the Houthis as far back as 2013, Shepard.
An aircraft carrier and 11 other ships move into an area where Iran and Saudi Arabia are in the middle of a proxy war, and it's discreet, and we should stop it. Come on, Marie. As the United States faces a possible showdown with Iran at sea, because the possibility is there when you have 9,371 American troops on boats, and there is tension and there are wars going on. There are possibilities. That's a fact. There's word that the United States could pay billions upon billions upon billions of dollars to Iran to get them on board with a nuclear deal. The report first came from the Wall Street Journal newspaper, and since then, many other news organizations are picking it up. We cannot confirm it, But many reports claim that the government would not rule out the so-called signing bonus of $50 billion. A reporter asked the State Department spokeswoman if that's true. Here's Marie Harv.
Money that Iran might get upon signing,
Right.
or whatever it is
So
that they do.
a couple points on that. I've talked to the folks who, I think this originated some of this out of Hill briefings. I've talked to the folks that have briefed the Hill, talked to the folks on our delegation. I think people were a little perplexed about what these reports were referring to. Because as we've said, and I repeated yesterday, the Iranians will get, under a comprehensive agreement, the sanctions relief after they take the key nuclear-related steps. So obviously all the details about how that will happen and when are still part of the negotiations.
35 seconds of a non-answer. Jennifer, do they get $50 billion if they sign this, or do we not know yet? Is the deal not final, which we know it's not final, but is that part of the talk?
Well, basically what you're hearing is the State Department not deny that Iran will be given a, quote, signing bonus of up to $50 billion for agreeing to a final nuclear deal that curtails its path to a bomb. Nuclear talks, as we mentioned, in Geneva began today, and the negotiators have until June 30th to reach a deal. Already, Shep, the Iranians have received more than $11 billion in unfrozen assets as part of sanctions relief during the talks about an interim agreement. Shepard.
Jennifer Griffin discreetly at the Pentagon this afternoon. Jennifer, tell Marie hello. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.